Welcome to the Prospective podcast with your hosts Ultramax 7 and Kotta Ranks. The Pros Perspective. The Prospective is a monthly event held in Center City, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Khyber Pass Pub. Live music, a live audience, a live conversation, culture, vibes, the Prospective.
Peace, y'all. It's your man Ultramax 7 back with another episode. Episode number 6. We got a good one today. Got a friend of mine. So we're going to have a nice conversation. And the funny thing is, this guy is our first artist who's actually from Philadelphia. You know, we do the podcast in Philly, but we haven't had a Philadelphia artist yet. So this will be a nice little Philly conversation. You have my brother Grant Agent on the show. And, you know, we get into his new album, By Design 2, get into some of his history, but we also get into some of the activism that he's doing. And I'm very proud of my brother and the things he's doing. So, you know, without further ado, let's get on to the episode. The Prospective with Grant Agent.
So, welcome everybody. And, you know, got a couple people checking out the stream, but this is the Prospective podcast.
Yes, it is.
This ranks, what is this, number 6?
7, maybe? 6?
6, I think. 6.
6, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here every month just about. So we want to give some, you know, this is the housekeeping part. So we want to thank the Khyber Pass.
For sure.
They host us
Always.
every month. So salute to the Khyber Pass.
Thank you.
I like the clap. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
two snaps up. The sound man Steve. You know, Steve keeps
On
it
the
sounding
board.
fresh, on point. Steve,
Always.
thank you as always, brother.
Always.
So I got my brother here. He's back there. Got Chateau on the radio.
In the building.
And he's got his show at the Break Room, right?
Okay.
Every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern on the beat 247.com. You can check out my brother, and he got his radio show popping. We got to give a shout out to our sponsor. I was talking to Jay. I told him, I said, yo, we need some copies so we can do some commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, listen, I drink. I'm sorry. That's what I do. But I'm drinking that Reef Knot, and, you know, our sponsor, Half Acre. So hopefully we'll have a Half Acre commercial. You know what I mean?
That
To
would be
read the
nice.
copy, whatever it is.
Yeah, like you said, we need to read.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, people, when you come down here, we run into promotion. You get a free beer if you sign up. We always put up the link so you can get a Reef Knot. And what's the other one?
I just know it's a yellow can.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Slow horse.
Slow melt. Slow melt.
Right.
But we should come out a beer called Slow Horse. But you know, one's a pale ale, one's a lager, and so that's, you know, shout out to our sponsor. And then we got our brother, last but not least, brother Bug out here.
BUG in the building.
Yes, BUG out
and
there.
let me take a second real quick.
Go ahead.
To acknowledge my man Raves in the house. I know he's Wednesdays on Twitch, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That in.
He's in my Vinyl Tap 215 crew. We brothers, you know. But shout out Ray in the building.
What's the name on Twitch so we can?
Particle Ray Music.
Particle Ray Music on Twitch.
Twitch.com/8 to 10 Wednesdays. Yeah.
There you go.
Person
We like, you know, we like to plug our friends. Pause.
For sure.
But that's what we do. So also, you know, Ranks, let's do this. What's your Instagram handle?
Kotta Ranks.
Okay, so KOTTARANKS.
Right.
Follow Kotta Ranks. Follow me. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're Ultramax 7.
Yeah.
How you must that? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm
You can't
saying
mix that.
no.
You can't mix that.
Ultramax said follow me. Follow Bug. You know, Bug the Man. BUGDAMAN. Right? Yeah. So follow us. You know, we're trying to do some fly things here. And follow Chateau on the Chateau dot on the beat.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get to the reason why we're here. I've known this dude for a minute. We met back in the 90s, late 90s. And I haven't seen him for a long time. we got to chop it up a little bit early in the year, so it was good to see his face. But it's great to see him in the place. And the interesting thing is, this being episode 6, you were the first person from Philly that we had as a guest.
Oh, really?
We've
Have you
had
been doing it in Philly the whole time?
yeah, isn't that ill? So we had Jersey, we had Brooklyn.
Wait, where's Phil from? Phil Most.
He was from Connecticut. I mean, he lives here now, but
Right.
Phil will tell you like, yeah, Philly, but he's like, I'm from Connecticut. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm just saying, like, this brother's born and bred.
Born and red, right.
Actually, Sadat, we had that's New
Yeah,
Rochelle,
that's-
and
yeah.
the brothers from Maryland this time. But
That's right.
finally,
Somebody from Philly.
somebody from Philly.
Another first.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk Philly today, but yeah, I can do a whole intro and all this, but this is a very prolific MC, and we're gonna get into a little bit about that, and more importantly for me, seeing his growth, things that he's doing now in the community, that I'm very proud of him, and that's very influential in Philadelphia. So everybody, get your hands together for my brother Grand Agent. There we go. So,
What's up?
what's happening, brother?
I'm well, man. I appreciate this opportunity. You asked me did I like hearing my music, but at certain times, yeah, in certain contexts, it's hard to get to a point where you got like total detached from any critical ear of I did that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, most of them joints is, I don't know, 9, 10, 15 years old. So at this point, it's just like, all right, okay. You know what I mean? Just, okay. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, it was refreshing to hear the variety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just try to take adventures with it. So to hear that I actually at least accomplished that is dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like a scrapbook. When we were sitting back there and I heard you start singing the chorus. I'm like, all right. Because I've always wondered, like, sometimes people are like, they listen and hear the mistakes.
Right.
Like, and they be like,
Right.
Or they'll tell you, yo, we were supposed to do this, or there was a different beat. They tell you the whole story, but you was grooving. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's the part I was saying. Like, I did a little of that.
Yeah.
But mostly I was just like, all right, we got some work done. You know what I mean? Over the years. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna start musically.
Uh-huh.
And I like to start before I go, we're gonna take it back, but before that, I want to talk about the album you got out now,
Okay.
By Design #2.
Yeah.
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 So first of all, can you tell people where they can get it or where it's at? Like, is it...
Oh, it's just on the platforms.
Okay.
Spotify, Apple, Tidal, all that, YouTube music. You know what I mean?
Are there any physical?
There are no physical copies of that. I just been in a place with music where I kind of almost got back, having been so immersed in other stuff, almost got back to the point where it was like fighting to get a project done. You know how like anybody know they first mixtape or they first album, it just feel like you gotta fight through bricks to get.
Yeah.
So I kind of was in that mode, and like just to get done was enough. You know what I'm saying? So. I ain't really think about no vinyl. I ain't think about the most. I did some videos. I did a couple press releases. I had a few shows I was looking at, but that part 2, man, it was just something I needed to do. You know what I mean? I can always circle back and see how I could support it more, but it was just like I just need to get this out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what made you do a part 2 of By Design?
Hey, yo, check it out. This is the Prospective Podcast with Ultra Mag 7 and Kotta Ranks and your man Sadat X, the Wild Cowboy #1.
Well, By Design is the first album. It's probably the only album where I was really signed to a label artist. And with the headaches you get with that, you also get some perks, right? Like they going to put a certain marketing budget and promotional budget. They're going to go out of their way to make sure you're getting seen and heard. And so basically everything after that, which was 2001, all the way up to By Design 2, was in some form of independent or license deal or just a lot of maneuvering to get stuff out, right? So some people only know By Design, believe it or not, right? It's like 12, 13 albums out there, right? But some people only know that because of that was maybe the most marketed thing. And at that time when you try and break an artist, you got to play the game. So you got the Lord Finesse on there, you got the Cutmaster Kurt, you got the name brand associations. And so By Design, and then also because I was playing that label game, which is funny, it was a very small label. There was not a whole lot of money involved, but even with that, there was a lot of politics. So. Because of that, like I ain't really ever feel like this is the Grand Agent album, right? You know what I'm saying? And so everything after that, people were like, why this not like By Design? You know what I'm saying? And it was because By Design was a lot of, raucous era underground assembly line stuff, right? And so this was my way of saying, look, I feel y'all like By Design. I like it too. It gave me what it gave me. So here goes that, right? So you had a name affiliation, so you know that you could come and expect at least that.
Right.
And then I went on and like a month later, I put out the deluxe version, which got all my what I want to do.
Right.
Meandering off and the stuff where they'd be like, what is he doing? But that I like. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right,
So that's what it was about. It was kind of like, closing the loop, like so people could see, oh yeah, he is still that dude. But after 10, 11 other albums, that's really just adventures. You know what I mean? People should understand that actually that's what Grand Agent is about.
This is not underground rap. This is not boom bap. This is not backpack.
What's this then?
This is adult contemporary hip hop. Straight up. 24/7, 365 on the all new Wax FM. North Philadelphia.
Right. He's not about let me call the hottest producer because that's dope. But I never liked those unless I could have some kind of rapport with the guy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the biggest names that I ever been affiliated with, most of them, I don't really have a rapport. Even if I got their numbers, you know what I mean? If I hit them up, it's going to be strictly business. So I that's not like hip hop to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why.
Well,
long answer, but that's
bro, that's
good answer.
perfect.
Yeah.
You have some guest stars on the album. It was good to hear Grand Pooba.
Everybody's talking about
Tajay. I think Culture Freedom did the beat.
Culture Freedom, come back with me, apple pie.
And mostly relationships. Even though Grand Pooba is not, it's not a pure industry thing. It was the relationship with Culture Freedom that got me to him. So it wasn't like my manager called his manager, that type of shit. You know what I mean? That's cool, but everybody on there, and it's a lot. If you go through the whole deluxe version, it's a lot of relationships represented there from the past 25, 30 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
See knowledge.
Me, I got crew, kids, 7 and a crescent.
See, yo, the guys.
Every morning I wake up, I eat Captain
Breeze,
Crunch. Eat the same thing for dinner and the same for lunch.
How you do that? He showed up happy, grateful. Was like, oh man, I know, like the money was really about nothing, but he was great. It was dope. Yeah. Somewhere I got footage of that session, but he was, he was like, couldn't have went better.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I was very happy to see was you, Ozzy, and Larry.
Oh,
going back to the name days.
Yeah.
Brotherly love is the name our city is called by. When you've been through some things with your team and realized that they all fly, you must have said it in the good, maybe never thought it through all the tough times. I hope you come to realize we can never say love enough times. What you think,
And
bro?
that seriously, that warmed my heart because knowing y'all from back then, seeing the grind and everything, to see the brothers back together, that was special.
It was, and it was a very special process. The song is called "Can't Say Love Enough," and when we started working together, mostly the genesis of everything was just from freestyling. We used to just go in the crib. We had a 4-track. We had SP1200. That was it. We have a beat, and we just be rapping. And some of them would get developed. Some of them we'd just be like, we just going to put it out like that. But "Can't Say Love Enough" was a line that came out of one of them sessions. And I cannot remember what the original song sounded like or if we ever recorded it. But that line over those 30 years really stuck with me. And so, we kind of went in pretty hard. Like we took Lift Every Voices thing. We had musicians come in. We had some, a very savvy programmer do the drums. Like it was a whole production involved in that. Cause it was like, Ozzy was always, we got to do a joint. But lives are going on, and it's very hard to pull that together with 3 busy grown men with families. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I said, if we do this, it's going to have to be something beyond the pale. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, if we can fuck with Lift Every Voice and sing and make that shit work, then it'll let everybody know where I really come from, and it will be worthy of a reunion of really the guys who, like with Oz is how I learned to be on stage, and with Sis is how I learned to or we learned together how to get our ideas out on a record. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So basically they trained me and prepared me to be Grand Agent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that's what the song is. Like I asked them, write a verse about what name has meant to your life beyond name.
Right.
And that's what everybody's verse is.
Well, with those brothers, I knew it had to be theatrical, and it's theatrical. Yeah. So it lives up to it. So listen, everybody, check out By Design 2.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the original By Design in a little bit, but let's get a little bit into your history.
Okay.
Like
what?
So like I said, you're the first Philly artist. What? No, I ain't gonna. we ain't got the feds coming up in here. We gonna keep it cool. So what part of Philly were you born in?
Excuse me, I'm trying to finish my.
It's all right, brother.
I was born and spent the first part in this neighborhood called Logan.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's up. And Logan is like the end of North Philly, the beginning of Northeast Philly, and it's the kind of the beginning of Alney, right?
Right.
And anybody in town knows the Roosevelt Boulevard. As soon as you come up out of the expressway, and if you're heading up towards the Northeast, on the left, you see a whole lot of nothingness.
Right.
And there was a part of Logan that was discovered to be sinking. And actually, some of my friends, you would go in their living room and you'd be like walking uphill. So what happened over time, the houses, it was the creek or whatever was originally there. The landfill started giving. Long story short, the city bought out like all what you see tore it down. So from there, I ended up moving to North Philly, which is where a lot of my family, my mom and everybody grew up at. So mostly a North Philly guy.
So as far as hip hop, how did hip hop, you discover it discover you? Like, how did that whole process come about?
Yo, it's your man Ultramax 7 taking a pause for the cause. Want to send a shout out to our new sponsor, Excel Forward. That's EXCLFWD. Excel Forward. They can be found on Instagram. They got some dope gear. Trust me when I tell you this. You know, a couple months ago, they reached out to me. They gifted me like a dope t-shirt. Then I thought back. I said, yo, let me reach out to them, see if they would be a sponsor for the podcast. Reached out. They sent us 3 hats, one for me, one for Bug, one for Ranks. We're gonna be rocking those at the at the podcast. I'll be rocking them. I'll be rocking them in the streets, rocking that in the streets. But I want to send a shout out to them. So go to Instagram, XL Forward, EXCLFWD. They've got hats, t-shirts, shorts, rugbies, vests, all types of dope stuff. So go there, check out the gear, purchase something, tell them I sent you, tell them we sent you, So go and check them out. XL Forward, EXCLFWD on Instagram. Back to the show.
I had a cousin, big cousin E. He passed away a couple years ago, man. Eric Turner, and this was one of the 2 ways. So we used to come around my crib, we sit on the porch, and I think it was Sunday. Lady B used to come on WHAT AM.
All right, welcome back. It's time to meet our special co-host today. She's going to help us out this afternoon. So let's have a big welcome for Lady B. How you doing? Welcome.
Thank you.
And he turned that shit on, and that's what it was. And then that was one of the things I remember. He came around there almost every weekend, and he would just try to get me. And he used to rap. Back then the rap was like, whoa, he can rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he tried to, get me involved. Just I was like, nah. And then the next real impressionable moment I remember, I must have been like 7. And again, somebody come up with the big radio, come up to the porch, and they playing The Message. And everybody who know before the message and after the message. After the message, it was like, oh, this shit is serious. This is for real.
Absolutely.
So those are my 2 moments. So I was like, 7 and 8 around that time. I first got like indoctrinated.
So, so even with your cousin asking you that and you hearing that just sparked that for you to write? Like you said, yo, I want to start writing rhymes.
No. What happened? So that's when I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I was around 9, 10, I started taking my allowance and just buying records, right?
Right.
I save my little money. I go downtown, Funko Mart, Sound and Market, Sound and Market 2. Running up in there, getting singles, like shopping for singles, Run DMC, all that. And so then somehow, prior to Lady B, I got wind of, the local guys, the Steady B's, the ESTs, yada, yada. Well, Steady B was the first, right, of those guys. And then even early Roxanne Shante, people don't know that. All that came through Philly.
You'll sit there looking dumb. It seems you forgot where you came from. You and Shante know where you got to start. Right here in Philly, on
Pop Art Records.
Yes, sir.
So through buying them records, I was sitting in the crib, and it was back when your mom had the big component set, they called it. Record player on top,
arm.
Everything stacked up here. And I'd just be sitting there. And I think that was probably even at that stage where you still like, how is this song coming off of this thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I just had a connection, like, this is a powerful thing. Like, this dude is 16, right? And he on the radio. And so I think I always connected with it as not even music, but like a record.
Mm-hmm.
It's a record of the moment, and it's a like almost like a not even like a book, but like it's like a magazine article. It's like a very timely thing that can influence this moment because it's in this moment and it's talking about this moment. It's somehow at 11 years old, that was the first time I actually like, okay, I'm gonna write one of these things, and that's what I did. I wrote it to Steady B had a joint called Just Call Us Death, or Just Call It something like that.
Yep.
And I turned it over the instrumental, crazy drum machine sound, and then that was it. That was the first rap. 86.
Since we got you here, I just want to take a few minutes. We got a Lady B, and I'm glad you said WHAT instead of WUSL, because a lot of, it depends on what age you are, but we were listening to Lady B on AM radio, and this was a time you would scour the radio, and if you heard hip hop, then you wanted more. Hip hop wasn't on the radio. I mean, it wasn't available. They didn't tell you. So once you found something, you would be like, okay. And I remember I would turn the next day thinking it's going to be on. Then I had to realize, like, oh, it's on at this time, so I got to wait a whole week. You know, I was listening. Then when I found like 91.7 WKDU, and I'm hearing them, I'm like, oh, but hip hop wasn't on the radio. You had to find it. You know.
And people should know too, just for historical context, you know, when hip hop actually became a thing, like a market force, there was still the no rap workday.
Oh, absolutely.
I was thinking that.
There was a time when you do this. Look, you turn to this station because you ain't gonna hear that shit.
Yeah, right.
Bother you in the middle of the day. That was their marketing tactic.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me
tell you.
Now we banging the most hip hop in R&B.
Isn't that crazy? You know what the crazy thing was? This was I remember it was 89. My brother was living in LA. And so we went out there and I heard K-Day. And I was like, I mean, it's early. They playing obviously the clean versions, but I'm hearing NWA. And this is 89. NWA, Kwame, De La Soul, like Tone Loc. I'm like, yo, what is this station? But they was playing hip hop all day. And then you come, I'm like, yo, we got the no rap work day. Like, what is this? Like, you only gonna hear hip hop when Lady B's on, when Mimi's on, or the countdown. If a song makes the countdown,
right.
You know, But you know, actually, I want to keep on. There's just a whole lot of. It's like people really don't understand. For us, like there's New York, and then it comes down Philly because, like, you know, Connecticut had maybe the Skinny Boys and different people, but Philly had a.
Oh no, I mean, listen, you got to go back again to the first dynasty. Pre-Wu is the Juice Crew, right? Marley Marl, all first Marley Marl produced records came through the Goodman Brothers, Pop Art, right? Philly, even the Bridge, their most iconic song was distributed throughout of here. So yeah, we got an early place, and I think a lot of that savvy or know-how just kind of trickled down through our history. I mean, we had Philly International, you know, we had even Cameo Parkway back in the day. I mean, in a certain time frame, there was a bit of a showbiz, you know, American Bandstand started here. You know what I mean? So Dancing on Air, we had, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we have, you know, we have a special place in the entertainment world. I think, you know, it's I ain't gonna say it's overlooked. People know. I hear New York dudes acknowledge it, but we were there from day one. And then when you talk about who started gangster rap, I mean, everybody tell you PSK is the first, real like, and they snorting coke and he got a pistol on and that was on the countdown. That was a hit.
I'm never going to 52nd and Parkside.
So I mean, our place is cemented. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I always say this, and I don't care what everybody says. I always say this wherever I go. I'm like, Philly got the best DJs. I don't.
Oh well, that's
another. I was like, I don't care what you say.
That's been early. Cash Money, Biz. Yeah, that's been an early. I think that's well established as well. The skills, the finesse and skills DJs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think another type of party animal that aggression came out of New York, and that's a later iteration. But just, you know, finesse and skill, like by miles, we got that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Real quick, you just gave me a flashback real quick when you was talking about Dancing on Air, because I would watch it to see Mr. Tuxedo because he was always on there. But that was a quick flashback. So you make it, so you start writing rhymes and stuff. How did you know, were you going to studios? Were you doing?
Nah, man. I did that one thing at 11, and then I didn't do nothing else till I was 19. I mean, I bought records and got immersed. And so what happened was, like, I graduated high school, and I was just kind of like, floundering around. You know what I mean? I went to college, left, went to another college, left. And so I'm back home and I'm like, man, what is it? You know what I mean? I'm working, I'm doing whatever. I had like an okay job and I could have just probably continued in that way. But somehow, some way, I found the Art Institute of Philadelphia. And it was like they had a program, music video business, and I walk in there, they got a lot. I'm like, oh man, the studio is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So I enrolled in there. That's where I met Sis, and I met a couple people. But really what happened, we had a class project to make a song. And me and Sis made the beat for like, it was like 8 rappers. It was like, you know what I'm saying?
Wu-Tang.
Yeah. And so just after I went in that studio, I was like, oh, that's right, this. And I just dropped out of school and just started going for it.
Right.
And that was with names. So at the same time, I was at that school, I was working at Freedom Theater, and I was the janitor and shit. And Ozzy was working there as the artistic director, or assistant to the artistic director.
Right.
So that's how we met. And then, so I had Sis from school and I had Oz from work. And then that's how Name formed. And then Ozzy being from that theater world, just so extroverted, he just like, come on, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to go here. And before I knew it, it was like Name was a thing. And so it started really when I was 19.
Wow.
Like the pursuit of like, okay, I think I'm going to see if I can make this my livelihood or my career. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I was about 19.
One quick question.
Yeah.
What was your first MC name?
Oh man.
I know you didn't start with Grand Agent.
No. I was from, Jazz Master something.
Yeah.
Right.
Grandness. I mean, the Grand came early.
Okay.
Many iterations, or 2 or 3. But when Name started, I just used my name. I mean, I have since changed my birth name, but it was Jared. I just went with that. And I didn't really think nothing of it. It wasn't a need. But as I started seeing like my dreams with Name was kind of coming to a little bit of an expiration because I kind of started to see like it wasn't as important for them. Like we was going for it and we was making joints and talking to labels and all of that and putting out our own records and going to do shows and all that. But it came to a point where I realized like, I'm probably the only one in here who really want this shit as a career.
Right.
And so, so that's kind of when Grand Agent was born and how it happened. We used to just make tapes and just sell tapes and shit. And it was kind of like we was due for another tape. But as that reality was dawning, like I kind of started putting myself more in like a Q-tip spot in the group. It's like, well, there's a group there, but this motherfucker is doing most of the shit. And
right.
So I kind of just put myself in that role. And then I just woke up one morning and it was like Grand Agent. And I just was like, oh, that sounds about right. And I just went with that. And so 98, Rich Medina had Footwork and that was the spot. And so we had this tape, Lost Page of the B-Boy document, right? And that was the Grand Agent coming out party. And so it kind of just, it went from there into the solo career. Hey, check it out. This is the Prospective podcast with my brother Ultramax 7 and Kotta Ranks. It's your man Grand Agent. Let's get into it.
And that's wild because that's about the time that we met.
Right.
Because I met you at Big Jim Slade's crib.
Right.
And Slade, he had the Name tape and he was always like, yo, you need to check this out.
Yeah.
And then he would play me the joints and I'm like, yo, okay. And then y'all would come around. Like, particularly you and Sis, Ozzy would come by sometimes and I know Ozzy was because he got that voice.
Yeah.
So but then I started seeing y'all and he was like, yo, they're dope. And he would play me stuff. I heard like SAT, and I'm listening to your rhymes. I'm like, oh, these dudes are ill. Like, you know. But,
SAT was the first. I got to shout out Muhammad Dia. She had a radio show.
Right.
103.9. She played that shit. She played SAT on the radio. That was the first kind of like, like people take this shit seriously. You know what I mean? Like it was a nice affirmation. You know what I mean? Or confirmation. You know what I'm saying?
And like I told you before, I was like, you were the first person that I saw that had an SP 1200. Because like. I mean, you know, because Slade had his equipment and stuff, and I went in there one time up in the attic in the room. I'm like, what's that? He's like, yo, that's his SB 1200. I was like, yo, and I'm looking at the joint like
it was the thing. You had to have that shit, man. You had to have that, and I kept that joint for many years. I mean, until I started. Production just started outpacing me. You know what I mean? It was like people just started getting too advanced, and I'm like, I'm not. And I had a homie in Germany. He was like, yo, he. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell it to you because I know he's a collector. I know it's going to live. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. It's got life.
And it was like I had outgrown this usefulness. I'm like, you know what, bro? You got it. And that so I had that shit from whenever that was, 94 till about 2002 or 3. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And by that time, like Logic and all that shit was coming on the scene. Yeah. I'm like, you could put that in the mix of that.
Yeah.
But my whole skill set was really that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, my production ain't going, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna hold up in this landscape. So I just let it go.
Yeah. I know you don't remember this, but I remember this because boy, I was mad at you.
What?
I'm gonna tell you this story. It's funny. We because the album was the last page of the B-Boy document.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Crown Rulers, Jersey. You know, I'm like, all right. And so we did a song together.
Okay.
It was called what's it called? It's the lyric B-Boy Academy.
Okay. I do remember that.
I think it was me, you, and Sis.
I kind of remember that.
I think you and Slade got into it. You deleted that. I came over that one time.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo, but I was like,
I deleted the recording?
Yeah, he was hot with him. No.
Slade might have told you that.
Oh, okay. We get to okay.
I'm not putting shit like that. I wouldn't remember it. I'm pretty sure.
It's nothing.
No, I know it don't mean shit now, but I mean like any type of like because I'm not a drama prone person. So anytime I have a skirmish or I got a pretty good record of
You know, I'm glad you said that because when I'm like, yo, man.
Slade probably fucking around, was drunk and fucked up and said.
Exactly. Now I think about it. Oh, he blamed it on you.
Yeah.
All right, Slade.
Nah.
But anyway.
And if I did, it was a complete accident. It wasn't no. But
he had a whole story behind it.
Nah.
Anyway. Anyway, so listen, that's what? That's 25 some years ago.
I know I ended up renting the room over there. So this is so
yeah.
That was 99.
Yeah,
that's about 99. Yeah. So we talking about 26 years ago.
Yeah, we was. Listen, I go over there. Yo, Sis opens the door. He opens the door. Yo, if Slade ain't he'll be back. We was just chilling.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And then you just know how things just happen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like. I don't know if I didn't see you for a while or something, but how did the whole mingling with Mayhem thing come about?
Oh, so what happened was, okay, so that's the continuation of the story of the B-Boy document. So what happened is, we put that shit out. We had a crazy, like, just well-received release party at Footwork. Damn, it was right around the corner.
Yeah,
wow. Yeah. So we just crushed that shit. And so Yuri, did you know Yuri Dutton?
At
Armand's and shit.
Yeah.
So Yuri was there. Yuri had already moved to LA and shit. And he came back. And he was like, yo, man, you should come out to LA and shit. Like, I got this, I'm at this distribution joint. And that was when you could, again, different era, like, you could get like what they used to call a P&D deal, pressing and distribution. You go, you take your record, they press that shit, sell it for you, and you get whatever you get. And he's like, yo, you should come out. And so I'm like, all right. At that point, my whole thing was like, wherever this music take me, I'm following.
Right.
So I go to LA. I'm crashing on Yuri couch, and I had some family out there too, but like wait like an hour from LA. So between them, I used to just crash out there and shit. And then Yuri actually got me a job, so I'm working at the distributor. Finally, we strike a little deal. And so while I'm there, I meet this dude, Zach Katz, who's like, he got his little label, and I'm looking at his shit is all glossy. Like, I see what it looked like. He's spending money. He got stickers. My shit is just like white label, black. He like, yo, man, like, yo, I fuck with you. Let's. So, and he had an artist that, I guess he wasn't too thrilled with, but then he heard my shit. He's like, yo, we should work together. So that's how By Design, that was the genesis of it. So I ended up signing a deal with him that ended up being the deal that became the Groove Attack deal. And that's really how it happened. And so what happened was I was going back and forth to LA to do that album. And then finally, and that's when I started having my first little like, oh, this motherfucker, because like I'm coming from name, it's homeboy shit, right?
Right.
And then now you get into the business, and they like, well, we need this high producer, and I'm like, okay, well that's fine, but like I still need to do this shit, you know what I mean? So then I would kind of like go and come just to like put that on pause so I could get some shit done over here, like shit I wanted to do.
Right.
And so like that's why I was fucking with Chops a lot. So Chops got a couple joints on the album, and
shout out Chops.
And me and Sis, and so I make like my joints, and then I'll be like, all right, well at least these 4 or 5 got to be on there. Whatever else you want to do, let's do it. So then I go back and but to his credit, he was trying to make the best. So we got like High Tech. You know what I mean? We got fucking Lord Finesse. We got Cutmaster Kurt was the one that me and Kurt both was like, I don't get this guy. I don't know why are we fucking with each other? You know what I mean? But it was, and then after we make the songs and shit, he'd be like, you know what? And I'd be like, you know what? And then we'd be like, all right. Then we had to do it again. And then we like, oh man, here we go again. So, that was the first single, and then Mingling, and then every 5 minutes. But we like, whatever. It works. We might not care for each other, but fuck it. And and so finally, I get it done. And the last one was actually that shit with High Tech and Planet Asia, and Planet Asia voice was fucked up. And so I'm like, man, I gotta go home. Like, cause at that time I did end up living in LA later, but it's a hard fucking adjustment coming from here.
Oh yeah.
To go out there. And it's like, at that time I couldn't really fade it too well. So I'm like, I want to go home. And so I did my shit, and then that was it. And then I hear it, Planet Asia, and so then now the album is ready. And so basically, I'm living at Slade Crib, and what I'm doing to stay as much in the music as possible, I became a cab driver, right? So I fucking go lease the cab for the weekend, bust my ass, make all my rent, and then I just be back focused on music. You know what I mean? So I'm doing that shit and then waiting to see, is this album really going to change my life, right?
Right.
And so what ended up happening, that deal with Groove Attack. And so Groove Attack is German-based. It was very well established in Europe. And they was trying to get some shit popping over here. But it was hard, right? Because they trying to put an office in New York, and they signed Fife. Remember when Tribe first broke up? The Fife was their marquee artist. And so I met Fife and shit. That was cool. And then they like, look, just come over here. We're going to do a promo run over here. So, I'm like, I'm getting out the cab, and I'm getting on the plane, and I go to Germany. It's like national TV, like off the plane and shit. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did that shit once, met some people, did that shit twice, met some people. I was like, yo, next time I come over here, I'm just going to stay. And I ain't tell nobody. I ain't even tell my mom. I'm like, they had this tour. I met some guys in Copenhagen and shit, Boulevard Connection. They like, yeah, we about to do this tour with Common and this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right. Like, so I called Groove Attack. I'm like, yo, we got to get on this shit to promote. So they got me a ticket. They got my man Sonny James a ticket. And at the end, I was like, all right, Sonny. You know what I'm saying? And I just camped out.
Right.
And that shit turned into like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And that was like because other than that, I don't think I would have seen my dream come true. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I was like, this shit is happening here. I just got to go where it's happening. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it was like being here.
Yeah.
It was like you just disappeared one day. And it was funny. I'm going to get into the story because I love this story. But go get into that. But, it was just like you disappeared, but Slade was like, yo, he's in Germany. And so at the same time, me and Slade were making demos and he had sent the music to Princess Superstar. We both got placements on her album. And then she asked me to be her like hype man, the MC to do all the different spots because she had like Kool Keith, J Zone, and Bahamadia and all these different people. So I was doing their parts as well as hype man.
Right.
And so the very first show we did was in Cologne, Germany.
Yeah.
And so we get there and chilling. I'm seeing Germany for the first time. And so we're walking into this venue because the show we were doing was a showcase for the label.
Right.
And so all we did was rehearse so far. This is the very first show. So I'm walking up into the venue. The rest of my bandmates are all in front of me. I'm in Germany. Nobody knows me except them. And I hear my name, my government name, Aaron. I turned around, it was you.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this nigga doing over here? And it was a great night. We chopped it up. We went into the spot, and like I was telling you, it was me, you, and Ursula Rucker.
Yeah.
So we had this Philly,
little
reunion
backstage. Yeah.
You remember this? Oh, I forget what this dude's name was. It's like Popo or Pop, some
like a German rapper.
Yeah, I don't know if he rhymed or something. He was. I forget what his name. Popo, something.
Oh, I met a lot of rappers.
Yeah, that's
over
yeah.
there.
But
a lot of rappers.
But I remember it was crazy. I remember while we were still out there, I don't know if this might have been another. I don't know. I remember one time we did this show. It was this humongous like an armory, and Beans was there, Beanie Siegel was there, and so was Memphis Bleak. And you was just introduced me to them like.
Was it in Cologne?
It was. I think it was in Cologne. It was.
They did
or
have
it might
a
have
little
been,
arena there because I remember I saw Busta Rhymes there.
It was like a big, huge.
It was like
stage.
it was like a basketball arena.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But I remember being there and you were there and you introduced me to Siegel and then Memphis Bleak. I'm like, I'm still like, but obviously you know Beans from Philly, so it was like.
No, I'm trying to remember. Was that me? You sure?
No, brother, it was you because I remember you introducing me.
Because I don't even remember that. Okay.
Look, I'm here to remember it for you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I listen. All that stuff back then, I remember all that. But I remember you introduced me to Beans, and
I wonder where that was at. Was that in Cologne?
It might not have been. It was some. You know what? It might not even been that way. We might have came back another time.
Okay.
But I remember you introduced me to Beans.
Oh, that's what's up.
And because I remember Memphis Bleak was there. I'm like, yo, why are we on here doing Bad Babysitter with it's Princess Superstar something. We doing Bad Babysitter with Memphis Bleak and Beans. But
I know. That was Princess Superstar. That was an interesting time.
It was, bro. It was a very interesting, but great times. But I always wanted to tell you, brother. But if you heard it from me or not, very proud of you to see you laying on the couch, and the next day I'm like, I see the brother in Germany. I had not seen that prior to you, so that was very like influential to me. Like,
that's what's up.
Wait, what? He did this, so thank you for that, brother. You gave the spark to a lot of us.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. So I love telling that story.
Thank
brother.
you. Yeah, that was, I'm glad you did because I didn't remember it till we did the last one. I do remember just like running in the Ursa, but I didn't remember it was all the same night. Yeah.
I got the picture
that venue,
too.
man. I saw the pic. That venue was the shit too. It was something hall. I could still see it, but Cologne. Those was great days, man.
Listen, I basically after doing it, I fell in love with Germany.
Yeah,
I was there. like I tell you, like we were so American. We were so aggressive. I was trying to talk to all these women, and I was too aggressive because it was American.
Yeah.
So I had to come home. I took like a conversational German class because I'm like, I'm going back and I'm going to talk to these ladies.
It was easier. Yeah, meter. It was easier than they wasn't as it wasn't as hard as you probably made it, right? It was a lot more laid back than you thought. Yeah.
Well, anyway, somebody was telling, because the funny thing was, somebody was like, I was like, yo, they don't understand this. They were like, no, they learn.
They understand.
Yeah,
perfectly.
they were like, they learn English from kids. They were like, the older folks, they might not know.
Yeah.
So when I got that, they were just like, yo, you're too aggressive. You're too American. I was like, oh, I got it now.
Yeah.
What I always try to tell people this, but obviously you live there, and actually you've seen it too.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the overseas scene versus America, and why. I mean, I got my own ideas, but why do you think they go so hard for hip hop?
Well, I mean, I think it's just something historically, culturally. I mean, you could go back to fucking Quincy Jones stories of being in Europe, right? And going and finding support and love there that he didn't get here. You know what I mean? Miles, all the jazz artists, right? Even before I popped up, I mean, shit, Melee Sparks, Rashid from Philly was already over there. In the time that I was there, was it Lord Jazz or somebody else moved to France? And so I don't know what it is, but I just think we just, our people just been more culturally respected over there for whatever reason. And I just found it to be true. You know what I mean? It was something about what we had to offer that I guess, maybe the need over here, just through racism and all that to minimalize our contribution, right? They don't really have that going on psychologically. So I guess it just frees them up to be genuine, like, yo, we fuck with this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, for many years, I have seen it change, but for many years, there's still a place over there for purist or traditional hip hop as I understand, but even over the years, I think they even started to make space for shit that they was a little bit staunch about too, like what we would call, or what is called here, gangster rap, or kind of how we entered that divide when it's like, oh, now the pure shit is underground, or you know what I mean, like this now you gotta be rapping about this to be successful, and not like for a long time they really toed the line on that, like, nah, this, you know what I mean. After a while, you start to see, like I said, when I saw Busta Rhymes over there, it was like phenomenal. So, but that's somebody who's a hip hopper who just went into the pop sphere, you know what I mean? Right. But like they told the line, like if it was some shit that we ain't fuck with, they probably ain't fuck with it either. Yeah, you know what I mean? And when I say we, I mean like the heads, if you will, or the purists. You know what I mean? So it's just one of them phenomenons. I don't know if I can fully explain it. You know what I mean?
It was crazy to me because I remember we met people and they were like, yo, we have these buildings here, we can do graffiti on them, and they had like the illest pieces. And you were like, they just doing. I'm like, yo, that's what you can do? Yeah. And there's only a couple times I've been not afraid to do a show, but like I'm watching the person and they look so ill and we got going after them. One of them was Jean Grey. Because I was like, Jean tears it down. Yeah. And and basically the two female MCs, I don't even know who this young lady was, but it was in Germany. And we walked into the spot, coming with Princess Superstar, and this girl, like I don't know what she's saying.
Was she light skinned?
No, she was white.
Oh, shit.
No, she was white. She was white skinned. But I don't know what she was saying. She was
just on it. Huh?
Yeah, she was on it. I'm like, and you know that the German, it's very hard anyway. So it's like, it's abrasive. Yeah. I'm like, I'm looking at Coachella like, yo, you got to go on after that? Like, yo, you going to do Bad Babysitter? After that? Right. But, yes, it was just very... that it made me coming from here, I'm like, yo, it reminded me, it's like when you were a kid, when you first get into hip hop, like, oh, they love it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you older and you're like, you know, we come over here and there was some dark times with hip hop.
Yeah, no doubt.
But to see them like that, I'm like, oh, there's hope. Like, they killing it.
We got too cool over here.
I always felt that because they didn't, you know, everybody rhymed, like, yo, you rhyme, your man's rhyme, I think they got too familiar. Where over there, it's like, you know, these people might only come once a year.
Right.
So they took it to heart. Like,
and they really embraced the culture.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I tell people, if you make music, you know, don't get discouraged about what's going on around here. Like, if you got somebody over there that's listening to you and they're feeling, go with that. Like, go where the love is.
Go where the love is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
This brother is a perfect example.
Go where the love is. Exactly.
Speaking of that, I want to talk. You gave me some homework, and we're speaking about Europe. This album that you did, I want to talk about that with OSTR out of Poland.
Yes, sir.
You were telling me, I want you to explain it, but you were telling me that like there's people that do albums with live instrumentation.
Right.
You know, it doesn't, like, I even know it even took the Roots a while to figure out how to get sound wise. You know, they got Bob Power, he kind of figured out. But this dude is on.
Yeah. Y'all ready to go shopping? Welcome to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? We got Vets for Pity, got Wiley's for Ghosts. We got Tussin for Wayne, got Ice for Home. Let's go. What you need? No books. Here, my nigga. Right
so talk about that.
So we talking about OSTR. This is the Polish. He's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenon. And what we was talking about is this is a classically trained musician, piano, violin, the whole shit. But he's a very pure hip hop, you know, his aesthetic is very pure. And even though most of the shit you hear is played, he just manipulates it in such a way. Like, his musicianship don't fuck it up, right? Because hip hop is so based on the loop, the repetition, and just adding on to that, or maybe a change here. So he's just managed to do that in the way that he has the upper hand because of his musicianship, and it's not muddying up his hip hop musicianship, right? And I don't even remember how I met dude. I think it was probably some kind of virtual, I don't know if it would have been Facebook or something. And I met his the guy who runs the label who he's on, which I think also was his manager, this dude Titus. And we started talking, and we like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do this project. So there's two of them actually. The first one is called Adult Contemporary. And so he's sending the beats and shit, and I'm like, oh wow, this shit is impressive. You know what I mean? So I wrote a bunch of shit, recorded a bunch of shit, and then, you know, he was telling his man, like, yo, like, let's bring him over here and like really finish this shit in person. So instead of just send the track. So, you know, I go to Warsaw and shit. It's like, I don't know, 2008, I think. And by this time, like, I hadn't really been going back and forth regularly. Like, I got a son now. He's like 3 or something. So I had to leave my son with my mom. I go over there, and like, we finished that shit up. And then that's when I really saw it in person, because he was just like, we come in and he like, yeah, I played that like 200, 300, 400 beats just ready. And then I just see him playing the shit, you know what I mean? Keyboard, the electric violin, all this shit. So we finish up. It's 2009. That shit comes out. And then me and the guy, the label guy, is kind of like wrestling back and forth about how the promotion going to go. And so it really didn't get nowhere near the attention it should have got. But then meanwhile, you know, OSTR is like steadily blowing up. He like Kanye, like producer, rapper. And, you know, the rap scene in Poland was not at all as robust as it was in Germany. Like, it was a lot, but like that shit kind of came and went, and then dude just kind of transcended into like a pop culture kind of staple. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he been since then. You know what I mean? And so after that album, I still had like a shit ton of beats from him. And I'm like, damn, we got to do this shit again. But by that time, he kind of blew up a little bit too much, and it was like hard to catch up with him.
Right.
So then the second one, Hustle Till It Hurt, was like, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm using these beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I just recorded over them, just 2-track. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I tried to get the files and mix it, but it just wasn't happening. I'm like, man, these shit sound good enough. We just gonna go with it.
Right.
And that's how the second one came, Hustle Till It Hurt. So again, man, we just had a moment. You know what I mean? We had a great moment. You know what I mean? Met his family and all this shit. And he just blew up. You know what I mean? Kind of almost as soon. And that shit happened to me with these Italian dudes too. Like these dudes called Club Dogo, right? Like he played some of them.
Yeah.
So same thing, right? This is like after I come back from Europe. It's like I'm still getting a lot of offers and shit from over there. It's like sometimes I could go back, sometimes I can't. So I started doing these little projects, a lot of bilingual shit. You know what I mean? Spanish dudes, Italian dudes. So I do this shit with these guys called Club Dogo, and their main dude was Don Joe, right? He the producer and all this shit, and they grinding and we grinding, and I do this little EP with them, and next time I try to get with them, the motherfuckers is on Sony, Italy, and they like to the moon and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I do these joints with these guys, and then they blow up. I can't get in touch with them. So whatever. So that shit happened a couple times. Happened with 1 or 2 dudes in Germany too. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be a lot of that same admiration you talked about with the fans and the audience.
Yeah.
The artists be having that shit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you fuck around and give them a little bit of extra credibility by working with them. Then, I ain't saying that's the only reason, but that shit feeds into their legend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, you had Grand Asian, and then, next thing you know, and then in them countries, they want to promote their language. Right. So it gives, you know what I mean? So it's
I got
funny.
you.
Yeah, it's funny.
So basically, you're saying is that after we put this episode out, we're gonna blow up.
Right.
So we.
There you go.
He called. I ain't answering the.
There you go.
Tell him I ain't here.
There you go.
You get kicked in the voicemail.
There you go. There you go. That's funny.
So,
I hope so.
We slide you something. Get the deal. He helped us. We slide him something. So as we wind down, I want to talk about, like I said, some of the things that I'm very proud of you doing.
Yeah.
In listening to your music, there's always been a lot of social commentary, but it's at the level of the listener. You're not going over anybody's head.
Right.
You're speaking right to them.
Right.
And so I think it's, when I saw you with the Philly Truce and all that, and I know, I think October 16th was the 30th anniversary of the Million Man March. You got a lot of things going on. So, talk to us about
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, right? Like this, like how we was talking about your foray into everything you doing now, how it just birthed itself during the pandemic, right? It's kind of how Philly Truce happened too. I just I was coming into town. I was living up in North Jersey. I was coming into town to record, to do music. Ran into a homie. Gun violence was skyrocketing and shit. And he like, yo, like, I'm trying to do something about this. And I'm like, well, what you want to do? And before I know it, literally, we talking every day. Philly Truce, we had an app in the beginning, Philly Truce app. Shit was designed basically to give the community somewhere to go if they had knowledge of conflicts that they felt was going to escalate. Did that for a while in the process of really getting out in the streets and making people comfortable with the name Philly Truce. So they used that. This thing called Peace Patrol was born. Now Peace Patrol is kind of like the main program. But yeah, to your point, I think so. Like, I feel like if you know me as an artist, you it's probably no surprise. It's kind of, I felt like, yeah, I rapped about this shit, and then 20 years later I did something about it. Like, or I rapped myself into a stage of taking action. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's really just that happened in 2020. And so since 2021, Philly Truce has been a nonprofit. I mean, we coming up on like 5 years of work, like 4 years of actual, as an entity. And so right now, so we just had the 30th anniversary 2 days ago, 30 years of the Million Man March. It's been a lot of celebrations around the country, but actually next Sunday, we have an ours here. Philly Truce is the lead organizer. On that, we got a great day planned. October 26th, we got 3 rallying points, 8 in the morning, Broad and Master in North Philly, Broad and Christian in South Philly, 30 for Market in West Philly. And so come there, come there with your peoples to the place closest to you. We get together there at 9:15 or so. We're going to take a mile walk. It's about a mile from each of those locations.
Right.
And we end up in Love Park. And that's where we do the rally, which is like putting men on stage, many of which who went to the original march. I personally did not make it, but who went, been inspired, and been working off of what that inspiration has been for the last 3 decades. And we talking about guys who work in the economic space, guys, if it's fatherhood and parenting, if it's housing, is every issue you can imagine that we challenge with in these communities where Philly Truce works, because we only go out and do patrols where is high levels of impact from gun violence, shootings, fatal and non-fatal. That's where we target our peace patrol. So you imagine all the challenges those communities face. And those are the guys we putting on stage to address those and to give some real action steps that people could take, first for their own situation, and also if they want to just get active and get engaged. So that's October 26th. All the info is at phillytruce.com. And on the other side, we got a entertainment part with this group called the Home Team. It's like a collective of promoters. And they got a comedy show and a concert with Carl Thomas and all this stuff that if you don't think you a community activist or organizer, or you don't think that pertains to you, you go over there, and they should be telling you to come over here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we've been up to, and we a week and a day away, bro. It's been a monumental lift, and that's why I was especially grateful to have this, this platform at this moment. It's great timing.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, even the way this came about, it was like I think you had hit me up early in the day, and you asked me, "Yo, could you help me, get the word out?" And I was like, "Well, we did have a cancellation." I talked to Ranks. I'm like, "Yo, what are you thinking?" And I asked you. I was like, "Bet, let's do it." Yeah. So that's that's divine.
That's right.
But like I said, listen, brother. Like I said, I'm very proud of you. All the stuff that you've done, continue to do. Now seeing you transition into this community work, and seeing the things you're doing from it. I love seeing that. You know what I mean? Because we could just listen. Not everybody can make music, but you're doing something about it.
Right now, everybody can get their hands on the tools to make some music.
Yeah.
Or to make a record, we'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and I do want to close with this because we talked about this earlier. So as a fundraiser, right? And we're gonna put this up whenever you post this. I got a little stash of unopened, almost as old as the Million Man. I don't need it right now.
They're grand aging classics. Let's just say that.
Right. So I got the first. So Name was my first group. I had the first single we ever put out. It was a joint called 12, and the backside was called At Night. This is unsealed since 1997, and I'm saying this because we auctioned these off as part of the fundraiser to cover some of our expenses from for the Million Man March celebration. I got the first Grand Agent album, double vinyl by design, 2001. That's with the 2 Cutmaster Kurt joints, the Lord Finesse joint, the High Tech joint, all of that. The album that everybody knows me for. We got unsealed, sealed, unopened, double vinyl of that. We got The Oh No, this was a good one. The 2005, this shit is even 20 years old.
Yeah.
Under the Circumstances, totally produced by Oh No. Everybody knows Oh No. If you don't, you know his brother Madlib.
Yeah.
So very similar sound in the same family. Just incredible head knot producer. So that album was called Under the Circumstances. I got unsealed vinyl of that. And then I got some rare, most people never heard, you heard it, but I actually did a remake of Pump Up the Jam in 2000 something.
Right.
And I got some vinyl of that. So we auctioning these off to raise funds to help defray some of the costs. It costs a lot of money to put on an event, city services, blocking the street, the stage, the sound, all of that shit. So we're gonna start the auction at $100 on these.
Yeah.
And we'll post the link for people to get that.
I just want to show it real quick.
Okay. Okay. My wife was trying to bring it, but I thought we was just talking about it.
I'll just show.
Now she's gonna tell me how right she was. How I should have listened.
So I'm just saying it straight to the people. I had to cut it off because my phone was going to die. But
No doubt.
we're going to get this out. We got
Heat.
We got Grand Agent Vinyl.
That's heat.
That's the first
Gonna do
album
an
by
auction.
design.
Yep.
Double vinyl in there.
Double.
The first single from that album.
Oh,
Produced
listen.
by Cutmaster Kurt. That's Mingling. The first 12-inch from the By Design.
I remember when this went down.
Yeah. This is the first name record.
Come on, man.
Independently pressed 1997.
Y'all don't got this. Come on,
And
man.
I'm talking about there was only 500 copies of that.
Yo,
So-
y'all vinyl heads.
Then I got the one with me and
There
Oh
you
No.
go.
Masterpiece right there. Uh-huh. And then this is the Pump Up the Jam joint. It never got a cover, but it's actually a pretty high quality vinyl right there. It's knocking.
So
So
this
that's
is
Pump Up
all
the
for
Jam.
auction.
Yep. So that's what we auctioning off.
That's on PhillyTruths.com.
No, we gonna
do
figure
a
out the
link.
link.
We'll
Yeah,
do a
yeah.
link and we'll put it out.
Yeah,
We'll promote it and
And so we're gonna start the bid at $100 a piece on them. And remember, we raising money for a nonprofit with these. So be generous, dig in your wallet, dig in your heart, and
for
all
the
of
kids.
that.
It's for the kids. Come on.
So
It's for the
that's what's
community.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get all that. We'll get the link. We'll figure all this out. We'll post these videos and all of that. I don't want to steal
Thank
these. But yo, brother, number one is good to see you actually in the flesh.
I know.
Like I said, very proud of you and everything you've done and continue to do, and looking forward to seeing the things you do in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be looking at my phone.
No,
I'm,
you good,
I'm
brother.
trying to extend my meter so parking authority don't get me.
Yeah, no. I Lou Blum has gotten me plenty of times.
But all right, I just got it. But yeah, I want to thank you too. Thank you too, Ranks.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you
problem,
for having
brother.
us, for
Yeah,
sharing y'all
thanks for coming,
platform.
man.
It's always nice to see a friend from back in the day
Yeah.
also steadily on the positive trajectory. So
Yeah.
I really applaud you for your platforms and
Thank you.
making a name for yourself out there. And I see that you're well respected in the hip hop community, as you should be. So applaud to you as well,
Oh,
brother.
thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah. We trying to do our thing, but
Yeah, you doing it.
yeah. But everybody, Grand Agent,
In the building.
clap it up. Clap it up. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. Another great episode. It's great to catch up with my man, Grand Agent. Good to see him in the flesh. Being that he was our first Philly guest, we got to talk a little Philly hip hop, which is always fun for me and Ranks. Go check out the links for those vinyls. I'll be putting that up in the promotion. Yeah, you can find the links on our page, the.prospective.podcast on Instagram. And you can also follow us on YouTube, but we'll be putting up links for that, and definitely go check out that vinyl. This is this man from his collection, and it's going to a great cause, help the city of Philadelphia. So definitely check that out, and we'll be back soon with another episode. I want to thank everybody around the world checking us out. Once again, like, share, follow, send to your friends, and and let them know that we're out here. We're here every month, you know, doing that hippity-hoppity thing. So, this is your man, Ultra Mag. I am out, and we will see you soon.